Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Hi, everyone. Hope you are all good and getting inspired by this first UBI summit. My name is Catarina. I'm the country ambassador of Mozambique, in contact with all Portuguese-speaking African countries too. And I'm really, really happy to join Impact Market Mission. So for the next presentation about donation mining, let me introduce you to Aaron Boyd from Kiko, one of our partners, and Marco from Impact Market. Aaron is a blockchain engineer at Kiko and recently co-founded Pretoria Research Lab, a technical hub researching staking protocols and DeFi ecosystem. Marco, as you already know, is the co-founder and CEO of Impact Market, completely engaged in develop and scale technology that impacts and empowers humanity. Please welcome both and please join the stage.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Great. Hey, Marco.
Hey, Aaron. All right.
Hey, everyone.
So you want to start or?
Yeah, I can start for sure. So, hi, everyone. It's been really great to listen to all the stories here. It's been really fascinating and really quite humbling, actually, because I'm a blockchain engineer. I've been involved in the space for, over nearly 10 years. So I guess I'm a grandpa in the blockchain scene. But hearing all the real world impacts is, really quite humbling because, I sort of sit here behind my computer and just think everything's going well and, the market is doing this and that. But truly hearing all the stories has been just amazing. So thank you to the previous speakers. I work, as Katerina mentioned, I work for Kiko. We've been partnering with Impact Markets to bring the token and the governance structure and the donation mining concepts to life. So a little bit about Kiko. We're a specialist blockchain consulting group, I would say, is probably the most accurate description. But really more than just being technologists, we're really advocates in the space. We're really creatives as well. We're involved in a lot of sort of bleeding edge, I guess you would say, things, interested in NFT exhibitions and so on. So hearing the previous speakers and Cello Punks and all that was really quite good as well. And Kiko has always had a really deep integration with the Cello ecosystem. They've been involved in basically from ground zero, one of the main sort of groups that helped build up the protocol from scratch. Deeply involved with C Labs. Probably Evan can attest to that as well, having worked with some of my peers, I think, in the past. So I'm not exactly sure, Marco, how the start of the collaboration between us came, but we've probably moved in a lot of the same circles. And I think you and Clem probably hit it off and initiated it from there. Is that right?
I think it was in a session, or I think it was during Echo that you guys were kind of looking at the session. We were presenting what we are doing, and then Clement reached out to us, and that was in the moment that we are planning to, as the next phase of the project, to become a DAO. So it becomes more decentralized and backed by not only backed by the community, but also owned by the community. And on top of that, like having a governance token that can behave as a gateway for decision making, but also as an incentive for more people to participate in the protocol. So that's where you guys came in to help us to define, because there are a lot of new mechanisms that we had to develop from scratch. And one of those mechanisms, we initially call it like donation mining, that now we are calling it more a kind of impact farming, as a way for donors to get also some incentives for their donations and also to become more active and participating more in the ecosystem. And we went through a lot of months of discussing different kind of mechanisms. So I think maybe 10 months ago that we have been kind of working on this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of different iterations, and I mean, I think what you said there as a donation incentive is probably more accurate than donation mining, because it's not truly mining in the traditional sense. Like, you're not really running a server or anything like this. But it was hard for us to agree on exactly how to manage it and even what to call it actually. But yeah, it's more of a donation incentive. But maybe before I get into some of the technical challenges that we came across, I just wanted to briefly say that, you know, apart from being a consultant working with Kiko, like I do have a personal interest in this project, and that's kind of why I put my hand up for it. Because, and again, listening to the previous speakers brought this into clearer focus, is that, you know, I really want blockchain to be, you know, a transformative technology that truly enables. Sometimes a lot of idealism gets bandied around personal sovereignty and UBI and these types of concepts, but you know, I truly believe in those ideals, and this is what I wanted to see in the blockchain world back in 2012, 2013 when I first started getting involved. So to see it finally coming to fruition now is extremely gratifying. Although I'm you know, at the same time, a little bit sad that it's taken so long, you know, so many iterations, not only in the Celo protocol, but in the wider blockchain space. So yeah, I'm very happy to be working on this. So thanks, Marco, for the opportunity as well to be helping out on this.
Of course, and I think that we will keep working on, because this is just the start. And that's something that I will talk more in the next session, like what's next for impact markets. And also, I think that we are kind of already running out of time. But
sure. Do you want me to talk a bit more about the donation, the technicals of it, or?
Yeah, a little about it, and then I can just we have been testing it because we are about to launch, and then I can just show a little bit of what we have been testing. It's just kind of still a very early version on running on the Celo testnet, but at least people can see more or less how it will work, at least in the donation mining side.
Sure. So briefly, the major challenge for us was that the major challenge was just the mathematics, truly. Like, you know, with something like UBI swap, you know, yield farming, you have two distinct. You have a start point, your end point. You put your liquidity in, and you pull it out, and you can perform a calculation. So with donation, it's really a one-way street. So you're performing one transaction, which is donating your CUSD or your Celo and so on. So there's really only a one stop where we kind of we need to somehow determine what you should be incentivized with, you know, with the kind of output of tokens that we're minting here. So that whole concept took many iterations, and what we eventually decided on was essentially using the Celo epochs as the stop point, where we perform a calculation and can ratio that off against the other donations that have happened in the same period. So, you know, we went through a few different things, and Marco was, you know, somewhat adamant about it not being strict on any particular way, and he wanted it to be fluid, and he wanted it to be that you can't really be sure what you're going to be incentivized with until it actually happens. So, and additionally, we wanted to incentivize repeat donations because, you know, in the traditional philanthropic world, that's very important that people, you know, donate multiple times, and it's not just a once-off, a set and forget. So having this kind of daily stop incentivizes that kind of behavior, and it's even something we spoke about perhaps even as a future implementation Bernardo was very keen on utilizing streaming concepts, like we know Savalier on the Ethereum network, which kind of has been used for, say, salaries and things like this. So there's lots of different future concepts that we're kind of toying with to tie in with that daily donation ratio incentive. Probably got too technical there, but I just spoke a little bit about the challenges.
All right. So yeah, just to give an example, and I think that it also helps shows that. So not sure if you can look at my screen, for example. This is just a very kind of, don't take this as a last version, but for example, each epoch, this is like how many tokens I have to claim from my previous donations. But if I come here and I say I want just to donate $1 cello, and then I just confirm it or confirm the allocation of this, and hopefully this will work, because it's always risky to do this live. Okay, and now I just click contribute. So basically now it's connecting with my wallet and sending $1 cello, and hopefully here it is. So this is how many tokens I have now to claim from this epoch, because that is in the beginning, and this was just like the only donation that was done. So if no one else does a donation until the end of epoch, I will get the full amount of the tokens. I can actually also claim the ones that are available for now, and yeah, you will be able to use this like quite soon, and I will just talk about that in the next session. But basically, this is how it will work. Quite simple. You'll be able to see in each epoch that means a day roughly, and here is like already there is no more rewards to claim. I have to wait for the epoch to end to see exactly how many tokens I will get, and then be able to claim after that. So yeah, we are also working or testing other parts of the implementation while everything is being audited for a while now. So hopefully this will be on the mainnet later this month. So yeah, let's see.
I think that's fairly safe to say. Don't lock me in while this is being recorded, though.
yeah, that was on purpose.
Yeah. Should I briefly talk about what the governance module enables?
Yeah, just very briefly, so we can just jump to the next session.
Yeah, sure. So we've enabled the voting, the governance module to enable adding of new communities, and moderating communities, requesting new funds. But we've also allowed it to upgrade the implementation of the communities, and also we've enabled it to do any generic function on the Celo protocol. So it's really quite open, and speaking to the future ideas that we had, and Evan touched on some of these as well, and the previous speakers about collaborations and so on, and we've spoken with Muller about directed yield farming and so on. So we're really leaving it quite open to be able to extend the actions that the governance module can take to kind of improve basically the throughput of impact markets, because at the end of the day, it's all about getting money into the hands of people. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. So.
All right, that's great. Yeah, so I think we should move forward to the next session. Thank you, Aaron, for all the support, all the help that you have been providing to the protocol and to our team. We hope we'll keep things this way, as there are so many things yet to develop. This is kind of just the first step of making it more decentralized, more fair, more efficient, and also having the community as a more coming together to decision making, but also how to improve all the ecosystem as a whole. So I think that now is up to me, Bernardo, and Afonso to end the session and end the summit. So I would like to invite them to the stage. And I have a small presentation to do. And Adam, thank you very much for your participation. All right, guys. So let me just make sure how long do we have until 45. So we have roughly from 10 to 15 minutes. Hope it works. So I just, in this case, I would like also to share a short presentation about what's next for the protocol. I don't want to expand too much on this or to reveal too much, but I think that it will help people to understand where we are not just what you see. There is a path, there is a roadmap, and there is a vision that we want to execute. So just here, hope everyone can see my screen, right? Let me just. Yes, I hope.
Yeah, everything good.
Is that all right?
Go for it.
So yeah, before going for what's next, I want to just take a step back for what's the past and the current and the present, and actually what is the foundation and structure to move forward. That is our team. Without the team, I usually think about the team as the most important thing in the project or in what we're doing. So just want to thank all the team for being with us and to help making this possible. And also want to thank our current investors and that we have raised so far during this year more than $1.5 million. This for the team in order for us to keep developing and expanding the protocol. So to the BOA, Capital, Cello, Flori Ventures, Valora, and we have also Diogo from Anchorage, Ivan that also spoke here, Tiago from Polka Starter, Deepak, Marek, Alex, and other individuals that have been kind and mission aligners in order to fund what we have been doing. So I want us to speak roughly also about the Darwin Token launch that we are looking to have it launches later this month, or at least having it ready and audited for that. So what will happen is in the moment of the launch of the token and the DAO is that 10% of the total supply of the token will be available as an air grab for past participants, where majority of those participants are past owners. So as soon as the token is available, past owners, but also managers, beneficiaries, and also part of the Cello community will be able to claim some of those tokens, and the snapshot for that will be taken later this month as well. And as soon as this is available, you can get directly our tokens as a reward for your donation, kind of like I showed in the demo, more in a kind of a regular basis. As a next features or things that we have been discussing internally, so we look at UBI as the kind of the first measurement or the first mechanism to deploy in very vulnerable communities. UBI is great to almost instantaneously alleviate extreme poverty, uplift the communities, and also is a great way to drive adoption and retention on using these technologies, and also in this case crypto to pay for things. But then, for example, there are other things that we want to kind of provide, other financial services, and also new ways for people to learn and to understand how to use this money, how to invest it, and also other mechanisms. So, for example, for donors, we are looking to, instead of making a direct donation, you can just deposit it on, for example, on Uniswap or Mula and redirect your interest to a community. So this way, people are not kind of spending money, and they are just leveraging on the interest to make a donation, and for that donation to be able also to claim some tokens and be part of the governance. Other possibilities that we have been looking into is microcredit. So using, for example, our tokens as a collateral instantaneously to get a microcredit or Celo or other crypto. Learn and earn is something that we have been also very focused on. So people can learn more about how to manage their finance, what's blockchain, what's this new technology, how they can leverage more of it. And as we add more financial services, they can also learn more about how to use the most of it. Other is like also, for example, collective savings, where we can just plug in into pool together, and each community can have its own pool. So this way, the people are incentivized to save, and also they kind of are playing a kind of a lottery at the same time they are saving, which is an amazing concept. Other things that we have been kind of discussing, also because what we have been seeing in some communities, and also it was also referred in the previous session, is a kind of a virtual fair or a simple way for people to sell and buy things directly on Celo Dollar. So what we are seeing in several Brazilian favelas is that people get together and they do a fair where they sell and buy all kinds of things, and using only Valora and Celo Dollar, and also paid tasks. We have been also trying, for example, paying people for kilos of plastic they collect, and so there is a lot of experiments here that we are trying to understand. And also on top of that, to have a more an easier way to measure the impacts that we are creating. Not only about we can look at the economic development, transactions, volume, with how many people that are transacting, how frequent, but also like try to understand from the beneficiaries how they are evolving in terms of nutrition, happiness, and also like health and other kind of verticals on their lives. In terms of the major kind of changes that we are seeing for the future as a protocol, is the first is more about the management of the treasury that will be on the DAO. So that treasury can generate yield or interest, and that can maximize the amount of funds that are available, or it can create also demand or scarcity on our token. And the second thing, I was just dividing this in three major things. The second thing is more about one of the biggest challenges that we have been facing, that is about cyber attacks or fraud, or like people trying to create several accounts or try to find ways to get more funds. So as a next step, we want to have in a contract basis self-governed communities through social consensus. So it can give some more clarity on identity, reputation, trust, and also allow other beneficiaries and the communities itself as a whole to define or to choose who should get priority on accessing a basic income. And the third major thing will be, for now, we are using Celo Dollar because dollars are a very easy currency for people to understand the value and how it can be used. But eventually, even Celo Dollar, for us to scale and to actually make a big contribution to eradicate extreme poverty, it will require a lot of donations or a frequent income of big donations, so we could scale. So one of the things that, as we are building a large treasury on the DAO, and as we want to keep evolving on that way, this could be used as a kind of a collateral to create a new currency. So for example, is like new currency that is not pegged to anything, but is minted by the beneficiaries and collateralized by the assets that the backers deposit. In this case, backers don't need to make a donation, but they can just provide their assets or deposit their assets to help this currency. So this way, we believe we can scale much faster. And we are doing this later in our roadmap, because so far we have been building traction, trust, and also creating like this network effect. So when we have this new currency, people will be more used to it. And that's just the next steps. We have been working on a framework to prioritize poorest countries where the dollar has the biggest impact. So now looking at Burundi or Congo, Somalia, Ethiopia, and all of those countries that we want to go in. Also is the most difficult ones, also where there is most of the people are in bankers. We are looking to expand our ambassadors network, partnered with large social organizations like foundations, but also with lending protocols, NFT marketplaces, and DEXs, like what we have been kind of doing for now. We want to expand on that. For example, a lending protocol can also offer the option to their users to say, okay, I want part of my yield or my interest to benefit impact market. And as our ambitious goal is to reach 1 million beneficiaries out of extreme poverty by the end of the next year. And yeah, so how can you help us? So we can become an ambassador. You can find more information about that on our website, on our docs.impactmarket.com. We are also hiring, so if you can just reach out to us directly through careers@impactmarket.com, or just contribute to our communities. So if you contribute now, you will be part of the air grab. If you contribute after we launch the token, you will be part of the what we call impact farming or donation mining or whatever name you want to call it. So yeah, that's basically like what we are aiming for our next steps. And I just wanted to leave here this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. That even, and it's interesting that the name of the book where he wrote that is very interesting. Where do we go from here? Cows or community? We believe it's community, and we believe that basic income is a great way to empower communities, to bring them together, and to make them more capable of achieving their goals, and to bring prosperity to their beneficiaries and members. So yeah, I think that's it. So I don't know if Bernardo or Afonso want to add something.
Yeah, I can add that we are. That's actually one of the questions that someone asked regarding the learn and earn, and how we are planning on baking education into our protocol. At this time, we have not been focused on doing that, because we are kind of solving all other problems, and we have a lot of problems to solve. That's great, because when you have problems, you have evolution, and we have a clear vision how to get to that end goal, that is ending extreme poverty by 2030. And we think that education, it will be key to get beneficiaries, not just for onboarding purposes, but also for instructing them how the product works, and how what terms are we using. Because we assume that, for example, in staking and lending, for us, that is quite normal, because we have been dealing with these terms for a long time already. But we have to think that these persons probably never heard about crypto, never heard about blockchain. They don't even know what lending is, because they don't have a bank account. So we need to go to the basics and completely bake education into our protocol.
Nice. Yeah. I will enjoy and invite João and Paulo on stage. And while they join, I want to say that I'm super excited with all these things, but I think I'm especially excited with the DAO because it opens so much possibilities. And lately, looking at these whole new things with what Pleasure DAO and the Constitution DAO now is doing, like so many things can happen. Like, well, so yeah, João, Paulo.
Hey there, thank you for coming. So my name is Paulo, as announced. I'm a front-end developer for Impact Market, and I'm here to do some questions.
Yeah, hey everyone, and I am João, backend developer at Impact Market.
So the first question goes, the first question actually was the one that Sequoia had asked into the chat. So she's asking if the Pact token is for donators or will be used for redistribute UBI as well. For now, all donations are converted to CUSD, if I'm not mistaken, she said. So probably, I don't know if Marco, you want to answer her.
Yeah, so now on the airgram, also beneficiaries will get tokens and managers and basically all the participants. We are not planning to do, so the token is not as a UBI. UBI is in Celo dollar. The token will behave more as a governance token and eventually a token that can be used as a collateral for a credit or to vote in different things. Despite it will have eventually a market value, and we are giving some of those tokens also to beneficiaries. Well, they can use it as a currency because it has a market value, but that's not the purpose, because like the volatility and liquidity and like it's like kind of the challenge that kind of other UBI approaches have been facing. For now, after the token is available, only donors will be able to claim, but we are already working on proposals so we can incentivize also other participants on the network, for example, beneficiaries, to receive also some part of those tokens. So we see this as more as a kind of a reward and something that can help them save as well, but eventually they can use it as a collateral for credit. And eventually, if the token appreciates in price, it will drive more donations, but it will also increase like a credit line for all the beneficiaries. So we are looking into ways to benefit beneficiaries by their kind of, because they will be able to vouch for other beneficiaries to enter or to participate in those decision making. Maybe they can get rewarded for that. The using a new token as a currency, that's something we plan to do, but later in a later stage when we got a bigger treasury in the DAO, and we have also like some millions of people using the protocol, then that's when we plan to actually deploy a new token that will be used as a currency with the right mechanisms around that. So to try to minimize volatility and to try to be more stable, and also allow the beneficiaries to swap it for Celo dollar if they want to. But for now, it's not being distributed as a currency, but people can use it as they want. And that's something we should also add to the learn and earn, because they will receive a token they never saw. It will give governance power. It will have like a fluctuating price. It could be used as a collateral for microcredit, and all those concepts are new for the beneficiaries. So that's also where the learn and earn come in. To before starting using a new service or looking at a new token, learn about it first, and then you can use it.
Nice.
Is there any priority or specific strategy regarding the countries you want to grow the platform usage, Marco?
Yeah, there is, and we have been working on that framework. So we are looking for the countries where they face the most challenges. It can be because of the government, can be because of the banks, it can be because of their, well, if they are in a war situation, or and usually we look at the poorest countries in the world, and also what's like kind of the minimum wage there, and also how much value a dollar could bring, because the dollar in a lot of developing countries that are inflation or hyperinflation, and when we see how much people can live per day there, and we convert to dollar, and we can see like where for the same amount of dollars we can reach many more people, and usually that's on the poorest countries. So, for example, some of the countries we are trying to go in that that we are not in yet, for example, Burundi, Congo, Somalia, Ethiopia, and there are so many countries that we want to enter and to start also distributing UBI. Some are more difficult than others, but for example, we are in Venezuela, and that's a very also difficult situation there, where, for example, the minimum wage is about $3 a month. That is kind of very surprising, and every day goes down. So yeah, that's how we are looking. That's why we don't have, like, for example, communities in developed countries like like Portugal or US or others, because we are focusing on those that we are giving priority to fight extreme poverty first.
Marco, I would just add that our top metric is the number of beneficiaries that we are helping. And by reaching those countries, that aligns with our end goal of ending as much people as possible and taking them out of poverty by 2030.
Exactly.
Great. Okay, let's go to the next question. That is to you, Afonso. Afonso, which features would you like to see implemented tomorrow, not after tomorrow, on the platform?
Not tomorrow, because we don't have enough. The team is not that big. But I already mentioned, for me, it's education. We have a lot of other stuff to do. We have the survey framework that we also want to introduce. It's still under design effort, is still not being built. But it will be very soon. So that I would say survey for the framework, for the survey framework, and the education.
Nice. So I have one for Bernardo. Are we able to allow others to build solutions and features within or around Impact Market?
That's actually a good question. And yes, because contracts are on chain. You can do whatever. You can integrate with the contracts as you wish. The contracts are documented. So the old ones are not that much documented, but the new ones will be well documented. Plus, the API is also open, so you can also use our API if you want to, which is also documented. João here is also improving that documentation. So if you go to docs.impactmarket.com, at the end, there's a section for developers. There's a link to the API where there's all the documentation with Swagger, UI, docs, as devs know. And for the contracts, as of the current ones, you also check them there in the docs. The new ones will probably have a specific page for that once they are public.
Nice. Okay. Next question, maybe the last one to Marco again. Marco, is there any maximum cap for beneficiaries or communities?
No. The short answer is there is no maximum cap. We are putting like a reasonable cap, for example, 10,000 people per community. There is no cap on how many communities. Like, And that's just because it becomes harder to manage like very large communities, and sometimes it's better to divide those communities in different ones, or separate them, so it becomes easier to manage, especially in the model that we have now with managers and they are the decision makers on who should get priority on getting access to basic income. Eventually, like new communities will be proposed by the community or the impact market community, and then voted by token holders to be approved. But for now we are trying to put a cap on each community, because then it becomes very difficult to for those managers to keep up with that. Eventually, like the number of people we would like to reach will be closer to, within the next 10 years, will be closer to 1 billion, because in line with how many people are now living in extreme poverty, and also how many people are unbanked. So we are kind of going after the intersection on those two, and yeah, I would say that there is a goal of maybe reaching 1 billion people by the end of the decade. It will depend a lot of execution, partners, funding, a lot of things, but at least that's kind of where we are aiming to go. And by doing that, eventually we can become one of the biggest open financial infrastructures in the world. So that is free, open to anyone, and that's how banking should be from the start for the people, and also money should be a tool for the people and not people being a tool of the money. So yeah, that's where we want to go. Let's see if we can, but we are very optimistic about that. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I think we can wrap this up. No, Marco?
Yeah, I think so. At least I'm seeing that. We.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We can close the session. We are over time already. Maybe I'll just invite Suzanne and Jessica for closing, and then inviting everyone to the stage. Not sure if you have to grab mics or just invite, but Suzanne and Jessica knows it.
Hi, everyone. I will stay on.
Hi, everyone. We are bringing everyone to the stage, the entire team. Just please bear with us, and everyone from Impact Marketing will be here in a minute.
Let's break this. And let's not forget to take a group photo.
That's the team making everything happening at Impact Market, like developing, designing, getting funds, starting communities. So thank you everybody who was here joining us in this first UBI Summit. And until now, thank you very much, and thank you for all the team for making it happen. If our leaders want to share a final message on this.
I just want to say that we are hiring. Go to careers.impactmarket.com.
Be part of the team.
And we have a good team. You will work with cool people for a good mission. So please join us.
Yeah. Let's take a group photo. I would take right now. So smile to the camera. You too, that you are also like attendees. You're going to appear in the future. Oh, Moses. Yeah, for sure. You're here. Amazing. If you are part of Impact Market.
Hey, Moses.
Amazing. So yeah.
Great moderation.
Woo-hoo!
Hello.
Yeah, you're all. Smile to the camera. I will take a picture. Ha. Na, na, na. There will be a group feed through the platform. So
Everybody's taking a selfie, right?
I think there is one is missing. Okay.
I took a selfie.
Yeah, almost.
Attendees as well. You are taking selfies. The team.
How do you
everybody.
take a selfie? How do you take a selfie?
I don't know. Something popped up for me, and I said yes.
That's it.
Didn't you receive a model saying take photo?
Yeah, I thought like it was personally like take your own little selfie on the side. So I just clicked no.
You should have said yes.
No, I don't know.
This is like a waiting for all the attendees, not speakers, to take a selfie.
Oh no, it's rendering. It's rendering. Yeah.
I finished it. Oh, only 11 people joined the group photo. I hope.
There you go.
Oh, we have Alex here. Amazing.
It will create an NFT of this.
Yeah, let's
make it happen.
All right.
Okay. I saved the photo.
Okay, so I think it's time to say thank you to everyone, all the attendees, all the speakers. Thank you so much for your support. And maybe anyone want to say the last word before we end this very first summit after 1 year of operation until next year.
Until next year.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Until next
Thank
year.
you. Thank you.
Any more to come?
Bye. See you next year, next Web Summit.
Thank you.
UBI.
Great job, guys.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.